thing I'll always remember is her smile the first time I saw it. So I think that was my first impression.
I thought he was just the kindest, most loving, sweet human. My husband is incredibly considerate, thoughtful, wants to make sure I'm okay, my kids are okay. Well, I have a distinct memory of being out at the bar as we were in those early days.
Mollie said, I think she meant to say I like you, but she said I love you slipped out. So technically she said it first, but she immediately kind of pulled it back right away.
And I remember being like, oh my gosh, I just love you so much, or something like that. And I remember thinking and saying out loud, oh, I didn't mean that. Like, I love you. I just love to be with you. That was my first memory of saying I love you. I don't remember when we officially said it, but I think it was pretty quick. I feel like pretty quickly I just knew he was my person.
So technically, I think she said I love you first, but if we're going by like officially saying it, I think I did.
Going back, I did love him. I did love him from the beginning. And so that stands. That stands.
I think just being myself with her.
For him talking so passionately and lovingly about his mom and his sisters. And I just remember thinking, like, he's just a sweet human.
I just felt it always really easy to be myself, and you know, just the fun that we could have together.
I remember thinking, I've known him like not that long, and it seems exciting, and it seems, you know, I'm nervous and all those things, but it also feels like I've known him forever.
You know, just being together. So I think, yeah, ordinary moments, just day-to-day stuff, just being with her.
And just thinking, like, he's a good human. Like, this is just a good human that I want to be with.
A good day would be both kids sleeping through the night or getting a decent amount of sleep through the night.
Now is so different than when I sat here 11 years ago now. Now, I feel like a good day is waking up, and just yesterday this happened, I feel like, and our daughter had crawled into bed with us at some point in the early morning hours, and I rolled over and I looked, and there's Matt sleeping, and there's she sleeping, and she rolls over and says, Mommy, I just love you so much.
Both of us getting sleep, you know, just being able to spend time with each other.
And then we wake up and we do breakfast and dance party in the kitchen as a family. And honestly, just hanging out at our house. We love our house. It's like our sanctuary and our compound. But I feel like a good day is just hanging out. Matt is one of my best friends, and always has been since we started dating. And I think we just have fun together. And honestly doing anything, doing nothing, is so much fun. It's cliche, but it's true. Yeah.
Again, it's just communication, you know. You know, there's a lot going on outside of just us being parents.
I think that Matt and I got married, and 3 weeks later, I think it was, we moved out to Pennsylvania so I could go to medical school. And then we did into medical school. I was pretty much non-existent in a relationship. And then he moved home halfway through medical school, so we lived apart for 2 years of our early marriage. And then I moved home and bam, started residency, and you know, that's a whole thing.
An open dialogue and checking in on each other. It's we try to do that every day if we can. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of external stuff going on right now in life, and you know, there's not always something we can really physically do about the hard stuff, but you know, just being there for emotional support and, you know, just kind of talking through stuff. I think it's just nice to have someone to offload on. I
feel like we've had a lot of time, a lot of road trips, a lot of driving to build up and a lot of apart time to build up communication skills. Like, we haven't always been together. And so Matt and I talk a lot about that, where our communication from when we were first married to now is so much better, and we can talk about everything and how we're feeling. And
what still makes me smile, she's a dork,
Him and his family are super goofy, super, super, super goofy.
You know, what makes me smile is, you know, being able to watch her be a mom, you know, and seeing the joy, and also, you know, being able to kind of share in some of that pain that being a parent brings you.
I honestly don't think I've gone one day of our relationship in the last 14 years where he hasn't made me like laugh for some reason or the other. And I honestly believe that is like the glue that holds it all together, because if you can be silly together and come down from those really hard moments, I think that's, I don't know. And I always think too, like, what happens when we're like 80 or something and we like can't do anything? And I feel like we could just sit there and he could make me laugh, and like already thinking about that makes me so happy and makes me comforted.
What makes me happy and what makes me smile is being able to be there with her during all this and watch her be a mom.
Having him lighten the mood, I think, has made me a better, probably more enjoyable person.
I think her willingness to adapt to, you know, me changing as a person and her changing as a person. We're two very different personalities. You know, she's very type A, linear. I'm very ADD and non-linear.
He is so intelligent and he's so smart. And it's like, but his learning style is hands-on. It's project-based learning that when he's appropriately medicated, he can like change the world, you know? And that is something that I think was actually a pain point in our relationship from the beginning. And then once we recognized, like, oh, you have an actual medical disorder that needs to be treated. Honestly, that has opened the gates and has made us both more aware of who we are as people.
And I think those two worlds have come closer together. I mean, we still clash a little bit, but I think her ability to change and you know, learn new ways to support me, and I'm, you know, always trying new ways to support her too.
It surprised me, but it was made known to me, and then we've like worked on it, and that pain point has lessened quite a bit.
I think I've learned from her is to lean on your family a lot more.
Value-wise is togetherness. I grew up in a family, like my nuclear family, but then also like my, I guess, extended family.
Yeah, I think there's strength in asking for help. And that's something I want to pass on to my kids, because I didn't always ask for help when I needed it.
I grew up with parents who, like, my brother and I went to Madison, and my parents came down every weekend to watch the Badgers. But I think now, being a parent, it was like they were just trying to be around us, you know, even when we were gone. I don't know why this is making me so emotional. And so I want to foster that, where, like, you know, I live next to my parents, you know, and like we have meals like many times a month with my brother. And so I want to foster that. I think that value is important, like togetherness and closeness with family. Like, I want my kids to like want to hang out with Matt and I, you know, when we're older. Like, I want that.
Yeah, I think just leaning on family.
Be flexible, use communication, be interested in growth together. My grandma told me when we got married that she always said, I always loved your grandpa, but I didn't always like him. And I remember being almost newlywed and thinking, like, that's crazy. Like, I love my husband. I like him all the time. Well, I learned that quickly that that's not true. When you live with someone and you're like, you know, romantic partners and friends and financial partners and parents, you always love them, but I don't always like him. And I think that's okay. And that's the advice I'd give myself.
Cherish those little moments by yourself with each other, because you're still going to have moments together, but your life's going to change.
That there's going to be hard days and there's going to be hard months and honestly years. And we're kind of in one of those right now with having little kids, but it's okay. And things will be okay if you communicate and stick together.
I wouldn't say I'm boring, but I think I have more skin in the game. So I'm less apt to go skydiving or, you know, do something too crazy, because all I think about is my wife and kids. Go have fun, which you did. I know you had fun, but yeah. 25-year-old Matt, I would have told him to just be comfortable being true to yourself.
I feel like forever to me now, like he's my husband, but I think of him more as like my life partner and like someone who I just like, I need to have I want to have in my life, but I need to have in my life.
Forever, you know, I think you don't, you know, getting married at, see, I was at 28. So I think there's still like a little naivety, like, you know, and when you're doing your vows, you're like, okay, that's like part of getting married kind of thing. And now, you know, you reflect on, oh, forever. Yeah, sure. Okay. You know, and now it's like forever.
Forever means like forever friendship and forever life partners and working together and growing together and changing together.
I think there's just like so much investment over the last 10 years plus that, yeah, I think I'm more invested in forever. You know, not that I was less committed back then, but, you know, forever to me is like taking like my kids growing up, going to college, maybe being grandparents someday. And like forever is just Mollie and I, you know?
But I feel like it feels more solid and more permanent.
And now it's like, you think about, well, what are the next 5 years gonna look like? What are the next 10 years gonna look like? And I think there's just forever, I think it's, you know, it still means the same, but it's just your focus on how that looks changes over time.
I think what I want to say to Matt is how much I love him. And I also think, like I've mentioned before, I don't think I really knew who he was at, you know, 2.5 years in at 2015. And I think this probably could have gone one of two ways. And I'm so happy that we grew together.
You've brought me more joy than I could ever have imagined. And that was before we had kids.
I think that watching him become a parent and watching him become a dad has been like the biggest honor of my life.
Every day I'm in disbelief of, you know, what I have and where I am in life. I just want you to know I love you, and I don't know. I'm thankful every day that I have you.
I'm so grateful that we ran into each other. I'm grateful that things worked out. I'm grateful that he's gone along with the ride with me and all of the stuff that I've had to, you know, put him through. And I really am honestly just so excited to watch our kids grow up. We had a moment last weekend where we were on vacation and we were driving home from Door County, and just sometimes I have to double take that this is our life. Like, we have 2 kids and like we're the adults now. And Matt started getting really teared up, and I got teared up too. And I said, well, why are you even crying? And he just said, this is it. This is what he's waited for. This is what we've waited for. You know, the kids and the road trip and the house with the yard and all the things that we've talked about for so many years, but it's finally here now.
Matilda, you're my baby. But it's been both beautiful and painful watching you turn into a little girl. And it keeps going too fast. And you're so beautiful and vibrant, and I'm always working on ways to try and cultivate that for you. I don't want you to change who you are, because you mean so much to me, and you're just great. I love you. And Mikkel, buddy, you're 6 months old, so I'm just starting to learn your personality, I think. For better or worse, you might be a lot more like your dad. And I promise I'm gonna do my damnedest to be be there for you if you ever have anything you need. And I want to be a good role model. And I can't wait to get to know you.
I hope that you guys, I hope we're good parents. You know, it's really hard. Like I said before too, I hope that you guys, a couple things. I hope that you enjoy spending time with us, you know, because that's kind of the whole point, right? And then I also, I hope that you guys can look at, you know, your dad and I as good role models, you know, as humans, first and foremost, but also, you know, as partners and as parents. Yeah, and I hope we do a good job. I hope so.